Hi, I'm Stevie and welcome to our bonus podcast. We're here with Victoria.
Hi.
And we're here also with Katie and Catherine talking about how this came about.
Hi.
Hello.
So why do you think it's good to talk about autism, Katie and Catherine?
Well, I think that this project has been amazing and I'm hoping that it carries on and goes off out there into the big wide social media world and beyond. But the project started, Stevie, I'd say with your germ of an idea when you came to me and you said I'd really like to make a documentary about what it's like to have special needs and autism, and that's really where this project has began. And then, you know, we've got other people involved, and Catherine might talk a bit more about, you know, why we're talking about autism and how we're making it safe for you guys and other people to be
so
okay
you can
about
see
it.
that I'm amazing then.
I do approve that you're amazing, yes.
Yeah, I think for me, I think working with lots of different students individually, and a lot of what we talked about in those sessions came back to what it was like to have autism and the different ways that affected them. But I was aware that as a school, it wasn't something that we really talked about, even though it was a school and ASD service. It wasn't something that was kind of talked about explicitly very much. And so we thought, and particularly with you, Stevie, when we were talking about how to get it more talked about and out there, and the idea came up at the documentary, and it seemed a really good way to start connecting all these different students who were thinking about it in their own heads and talking about it individually, to make it something that is all right to talk about with everybody.
So how did you get Sarah and Daniel and Dr. Ruth to talk to us?
I think everyone has been really enthusiastic about. I think it's a really exciting project, and people want to talk about autism, and again, it's giving people the opportunity and saying, actually, it's all right, we can do this. And the more we talk about it, the less of an issue it is to talk about it. So I think all of the people that we have got involved were just really enthusiastic to be part of it as well, really wanted to be.
Do you think this will encourage people to talk about autism and their special needs a little bit more?
Well, actually, I would like to ask you that question about what you think the answer to that is.
I hope so, because that's the whole point of me doing this, and I hope, not just me, the idea just sort of came from that maybe people just to talk about autism, and don't be ashamed of it. It's your autism. It affects you all the time. It will never go away, as Dr. Viv said. It will never go away, and as much as you wish it would go away, it won't. So it's just best if you can talk about it, get out your system, and then it will help you talking about it.
Just my experience of this process with you guys has been that, you know, we wanted to make it happen for you, so that's what we did, and we started with the videos. And although at first I felt a little bit uncomfortable when I watched it, because like I said, it wasn't how I want you to feel, because I want you to be happy. But actually, you know, now I feel much more comfortable going through this process. Now I feel more comfortable about talking about autism and think that we should talk about it more. Like Catherine says, we're a school for children with autism, and we don't always explicitly talk about it, but just coming through this process, I feel more comfortable talking about autism with you and just within our community. So I'm wondering how it's made you feel.
For anyone that doesn't know, Stevie, do you want to explain?
We made two films about autism. It wasn't a film what you would go to a movies and have a look. It was sort of it was something it was like an advert in a way, what you'll see on, I don't know, after Coronation Street or something like that. And it was a sort of advert. It was like you was watching it, and it sort of, I think it sucks you in a little bit. And it is a film about all of our experiences, what autism means to us, and there are many negative things about autism. Also comes with the positive things about what we have with autism. Making the film, it sort of started with an idea, what I sort of asked. I think it was Catherine and I asked first, and then we asked Katie, and then we also asked Carl. I think we asked Carl as well, and it sort of didn't do anything at first because I thought they weren't really listening, but it turns out they were listening. And then sort of all of a sudden Tim and Tom came in, and Tim and Roland came in. Sorry, Roland. Tim and Roland came in to talk about making a film, and there was a group of us. And I understand that there was also a group in Downham, and there was a group with us now. And we was just having a full-on conversation around the table in about what autism means to us, and we all had these different ideas, and we all had these different traits is what we had, but was also in the film, and it sort of came from there. And then we made the film, and then I think a couple of weeks after we came back, we watched the film, and then after that we was discussing what the film meant to us. I think that's sort of what happened in Downham as well.
Yeah.
Can I ask how you felt the first time you saw the videos? What was your reaction?
I felt that, personally, I felt that it was finding that sort of people were listening and people understood a little bit more, and I felt like I was able to play what autism felt to me, and also I felt that I wasn't alone. With many people in my own school I didn't even know suffered from the same ideas and the same problems. I didn't even know that they suffered, and not suffered, but had problems and had issues with bullying and had issues all over there, and I had the same very similar issues as if they were copying me. They weren't copying me, though. And it was strange, and it sort of made me feel a little bit not better. I know it sounds horrible, like saying this. Oh, it's better now. They were getting bullied as well, but it sort of made me feel better that knowing that I weren't the only one.
Mm-hmm. So in the films, they're all your words, exactly as you said them. They're your words, and then the films were made with sort of images and music. Do the films capture how it feels? Were you happy when you saw them?
Yes.
Did they get it right?
Yes. Like the editing of the video, like all the wording, it was just, I give a thumbs up to whoever edited.
I can't see the thumbs up.
Well, I applaud them because like honestly, for my opinion, it was like on point to what people should expect from young people that were diagnosed with autism and how they feel. For me, it's like giving a really, really good and like strong message to people out there that don't know about autism and have no idea about it.
And how, actually, when we had those conversations in the groups of four, those initial conversations, what was that like? Was that okay? Because I know at times there's some really, big stuff came up that we were talking about.
Yeah, I think it was useful because it would like spread ideas around, like how we feel and what we have to like put up with.
The end product of the film like has a bit of a sad vibe really to it, and I guess that's what when I was talking about made me feel a little bit uncomfortable. But does that capture how it feels sometimes? Like, is that right?
Yes and no, because for most people we want to look at the good side of autism. Like we want people to think that we're happy with our diagnosis, and not just like I don't like it that we have autism. I'm not happy about it. No, we don't want them to think that we're unhappy with our conditions. We just it's kind of like a conflicted situation, because like at some moments it's sad, but we just want to be happy, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, it was sad, but it's the truth in a way. It's more of the, like, so far, autism is, for relatively, is quite new still. Even though, like, back in, probably when my dad was younger, my mum was younger, and probably when most people around this room was younger. Well, that wasn't that long. autism wasn't knowledgeable as much. Is that true? Yeah, so it wasn't as knowledgeable, and it was more of a, if it was a bit like us who wasn't really autistic, who probably couldn't read as much, we were considered lazy. But if you was considered with real autism and you was running about screaming, jumping and banging your head against the wall soon, I think, yeah, you was considered a bit crazy. But it's not true that you're autistic, you struggle, and that's not you. And that the methods what was used were quite cruel. So now it's a lot different, but it's still new. No one knows concretely how autism is affected. No one knows how it affects you. No one knows why it's given to you. No one knows if it's just...
No one knows what to expect.
Yeah.
From us.
But it's still very new. So in a way, so far, it is only dark days with your autism. To be honest with you, it's always going to be a bit like that until it gets acknowledged more. Not just with teachers, but with people in the government. Also people in the police who should really acknowledge it now, but don't acknowledge it as much in the sheer facts that they just don't want to. In the sheer facts that also, if you acknowledge it, a lot of money would have to cost to open more schools, to open more benefits. And it's not that they are scared of autism, that they just are worried about autism, that it won't hurt you. It's not like we're a major country about to take over a bit, but we're more... Well, if thousands of kids were kidnapped every day, the government will go crazy. But in a way, that sort of happens because every time a child gets diagnosed with autism, another child in Scotland is diagnosed, another child in the other probably down the road is diagnosed. Thousands of kids get diagnosed with autism all the time. So how come the government's not making a change now? When they should be, when it's a lot.
I agree.
What change would you like the government to make, do you think? If you could talk to David Cameron or whoever, Michael Gove, what change would you ask them for? What would be your priority?
Priorities, personally, unless you want to go first. I would like to see the changes in the police. Maybe the police would lead more training into what autism and other special needs is, and even people with mental problems. Also, I'd like to see changes with schools, maybe more special needs schools instead of just having not as many, and even special needs colleges, and maybe a stronger people, maybe even having people, maybe making people with workforce, people who are managers and people who run, businesses like Tesco's, and to be more assiduate and more remember that just because you're autistic does not mean you're dumb. Just because you're autistic doesn't mean you cannot pack a shelf or do emails or send someone an email. Just because you're autistic, you can do those things. But the minute a businessman will think autism, you think, oh, he can't do that, he's dumb. Or she can't do that, she's dumb. But it's not necessarily true. Of course, none of it's true, actually. So I think the government should tell them, well, actually, maybe you should be more assiduate. And why can't someone who's autistic be a member of parliament? It's just lots of things have got to change, and it doesn't. They say that they are changing. They often make speeches and say that they're changing. They say that schools, and you see David Cameron is quick enough to visit a mainstream school, but he's not as quick enough to visit a special needs school.
You know what? I think they should all come down to any special needs school or even Drumbeat.
It's scary.
You know, I think they should just come down and see for themselves how we're feeling, what we have to put up with. Because if they're up there, they don't know exactly what's happening down here. So I think they just need to
get their heads out the clouds.
Okay,
yeah.
If David Cameron was coming tomorrow to Drumbeat, what would you want to show him, or what would you want? What's the message you would want to tell him?
I would show them what the last lady we spoke to, Sarah. I would show them that thing. I also show them that the fact is, while we make our achievements are probably one of the biggest achievements in the world, in a way, to eating our own lunch, to packing our own lunch, to swimming to, like the lady said, putting your clothes in the right way. They may not seem big achievements, as the lady said, to many other people. But in a way, out of anyone in this country, we make the biggest achievements, special needs children make the biggest achievements in the world. It took years in America for the astronauts to go to the moon, but that's looked upon as the most major achievement. But if you think about it as someone who's never got changed on herself, never, yeah, and then all of a sudden they've just come down with the clothes on, with maybe some things the wrong way around, but that's a massive achievement. How come that's not looked upon as a massive achievement? Only at the parents. Does that make sense? That didn't make sense.
It does, and I think you've touched on, what hopefully we're all about at Drumbeat, and, that you get from your families is that you're all individuals. So, yes, all of your achievements, count and are amazing because they start from where you're at. So anything that you achieve, that you learn, they're all absolutely brilliant and should be celebrated.
I think we've run out of time now, but thank you so much for coming in this and being part of this podcast. And hopefully in the future again, we'll interview you again.
I also want to say thank you for the opportunity and allowing us to give us our voice, because just thank you.
Thank you for using it.
Yeah, thank you. It's been great.
Bye.
Bye.
This podcast was produced at Drumbeat School and ASD service.
This project was produced by Roland Bullingham,
Tim Godwin,
Catherine Stevenson,
and Katie Kennell. The song featured in this episode was Omaha
by Josh Woodward. For more information on this podcast
and all of the other services available in Drumbeat School,
please visit our website drumbeatasd.org.
This is a Drumbeat Media production.